Hey guys, so it is a new week and we are back with a new unit. This unit we are going to learn with teddy bears, and this would be Unit 7, Week 1. So if you have perhaps just stumbled upon this video, I will mention that we have a whole playlist starting right from the beginning of all of the homeschooling that I've done with my 3-year-old preschooler Nola here at home. So if you want to check out some of those videos, be sure to click the link on that playlist, even if you're just looking for some fun, engaging activities to do with your preschooler at home. Now, teddy bears may not seem like an obvious theme choice for a unit, but they are really fun to learn with, and every kid can immediately connect with a teddy bear and teddy bear themed activities. Some of the supplies we're going to need this week are going to obviously be teddy bears and other stuffed animals too. You're also going to need some gummy bears, flashlight, dice, brown construction paper or perhaps brown grocery bag, and 2 toilet paper rolls and some string. The books that we're going to be reading this week are Goldilocks and the Three Bears by James Marshall, Where's My Teddy by Jez Alborough, and We're Going on a Bear Hunt by Helen Oxenbury. So Monday, you are to start with your morning calendar or circle time routine as always, and then introduce the topic of teddy bears and perhaps ask your child to describe a teddy bear to you. Then you're going to get into your read aloud, which is the Goldilocks and the Three Bears book. For things to talk about, as always, ask your child to make predictions about what they think is going to be happening on each page. And then once you've finished the book, ask them if they thought what Goldilocks did was perhaps a good or a bad idea, and how did it make the bears feel in the story. Then our learning activity is going to be to sort some of our teddy bears, and our easy activity is going to be to act out the story of Goldilocks. So let's get into this. Monday morning, we started out watching the book Goldilocks and the Three Bears to kind of set the tone for this theme. Now, we watched this story 3 times through, and each time we went through, I would pause the end of the book because we just went right to YouTube. I don't have a hard copy of Goldilocks and the Three Bears. And each time we went through, Nola was able to describe what was happening and how the bears were feeling a little more on her own each time. Then, when we were finished watching it for the 3rd time, she had the great idea of let's act out this story. Perfect, right to the easy activity. So we had our little setup and we kind of did our own version of this story, but the basis of it was the same. Then later on, when we were in her room, we did the sorting of teddy bears and stuffed animals because that's where all of our stuffed animals are. There is a lot. It's her whole bed. Under her bed is stuffed animals. And this is also why I don't have any footage of these items today, because our easy activity was just sporadic and at the moment. And our learning activity took place upstairs in her bedroom, and I really didn't want to kill the moment by going and getting the camera because by the time I got back upstairs, I may have lost her. So we sorted in all types of different ways. First, we sorted them by what type of animal they were. Then we sorted them by size. We sorted them by color. We sorted nocturnal animals. And we also sorted animals that could be pets. That was it for Monday. Super easy and super fun. Tuesday, because we're filming this all on Tuesday right now. We are to start again with our morning circle time or calendar routine. Add in the poem and song for the week, because I think I just forgot to mention that on Monday, but I will put a screenshot of the poem and song that is included with this unit. So our review topic is just to simply ask your child if they remember what happened in the story of Goldilocks and the Three Bears, and then our read aloud is a rewatching or a reading of that story. With the things to talk about today, you are going to introduce the letter B, so you'll want to have this drawn on both large and small print on a chalkboard, whiteboard, or a piece of paper, whatever you have handy, and go over the sound that it makes and give some examples of words that start with the letter B that your child's familiar with. Our learning activity is an alphabet hunt, and our easy activity is sorting items by 3. So let's get into this. We started out the morning with simply the letter B card on the table along with the poem and song. I also included some sticker dots with this so that just to give her some more practice with placing the dots in a line and in a particular place instead of just randomly on a piece of paper or a picture. So we really got into the sound and the words that start with the letter B. I had 5 or 6 written on the same sheet of paper that I wrote the letter on, and then Nola just started rapping off a few words that she could identify that started with the letter B. So I thought that was very good. She's really getting the hang of this when we bring a new letter into play, and she's thinking of her own words rather than just the ones that I'm giving to her. Awesome. Then we went right into our alphabet hunt. And we looked around the house. There's no particular place that you have to look for this. It's always a fun idea to give your child a flashlight so that they can go and really point out where they see the letter B. Nola didn't want a flashlight today. She noticed it first on my shirt, and then we went right to the bookshelf and picked out some books with the letter B. And she was really emphasizing the sound of B before saying a word on the books that she knew the names of. Like there's one called Baby Peekaboo, and she would say baby. And then notice that there was actually 2 B's in that word, so I thought that was fantastic. She also spotted the letter B in our poem and song. We made it back to the table a little bit later where the poem and song were, and she asked me to read it to her again. So this time, instead of just reading it aloud, I brought the paper in front of us and she sat with me, and I was hoping she would find some B's there, and she did. We did our sorting activity twice today. For this activity, you want to gather a bunch of items in groups of 3 that are all similar. Not the same, but similar. So for instance, I grabbed a monster truck, a bus, and a car. So they're all vehicles, but they're not all just cars. They were different types of vehicles. I also grabbed 3 different types of Legos, like the big Duplo blocks, a small regular sized Lego, and then one that kind of falls in between. So you want to get items like this together. And I had also collected 3 magnets. And this, I thought I might perhaps stump her with this one, because one was simply just a magnetic hook that goes in your door that we hang seasonal things off of on the inside of our home. Another was an animal magnet that we have, and then the third was part of her magnetiles. And why I thought this might stump her is because the animal, I had also grabbed 3 other animals. That was one of my group items. I thought she might try to put the animal magnet in with the other animals, but she didn't. She picked out these magnets right away. I thought it was going to be at least left for the last group that she was gonna gather together, but they always amaze you when you let them do their thing, and she got it. But prior to doing this activity that I had set up, she grabbed her piggy bank and asked me if I had any money, which she does on a normal basis. So this time I made sure that I had grabbed 3 of each coin that I was going to give her, and I asked her to sort them for me and put all the like coins together. So she did this fairly easily and then counted them all out and lined them all up and then plunked them all in. So another fantastic activity and another way to incorporate just our everyday things and fit them into this program, which I don't think I could say enough. Another reason why I love this program. You can really mold it and shape it to fit what you and your family are doing. I asked Nola if she wanted to watch the Goldilocks and the 3 Bears again today, and she didn't. But we still talked about what happened in the story and how all of the characters were feeling throughout this book. So that was it. Another fantastic day, done just like that. Wednesday! Today you are going to start, as always, with your morning circle time or calendar routine, and you're going to add in the poem and song that is included with this unit, and then we are going to get into today's read aloud, which is Where's My Teddy by Jez Alborough. As always, you're encouraged to do a picture walk through the book first and ask your child to guess what is going to happen on each page before you do an actual read aloud. And the things you want to talk about today are just this book and the sizes of the teddy bears, the sizes of the characters, and what happens in this story. Then we're going to get into our learning activity, which is measuring with blocks, followed by our easy activity, which is hide and go seek. So let's do this. This morning we started out with a letter B card on the middle of the table, along with a very small teddy that I had remembered yesterday we had somewhere in this house, and a couple of building blocks to kind of set the stage along with the learning activity and the book for today. So we started off watching the book. We watched it a few times through, and each time we talked about what was happening in the story, and as usual, Nola was able to tell me a little bit more on her own as we watched the story more. Then we got right into our learning activity. So for this activity, you're to take some wooden blocks, Legos, whatever you've got, and measure your teddy bears, measure your stuffed animals, measure whatever your child would like to measure with these blocks. We started out measuring our 2 teddy bears, as we had one giant bear and one tiny bear, which worked out perfect for this story. So we measured the tiny teddy at the table, and then we took the big teddy into the living room where we measured him with the same blocks. And then a little later on, we did go on to measure 3 more animals, I believe, all side by side this time. And then a little later on from that, we measured Nola's arm, and then we measured her foot, and then we measured her belly. This afternoon, after we just came inside from playing in like 2 2 feet of snow because we had a huge snowstorm last night and all day yesterday actually, and shouldn't have worked out today because that was a pretty good workout. We got right into our easy activity, which is teddy bear hide and go seek. Okay, so now we're into our easy activity for the day, which is to simply play hide and go seek with your teddy bear. So this is our Teddy. We have renamed him
Teddy.
No, Teddy's his name. What did we rename him?
Eddie.
Eddie. I'm gonna hide him first, and then Nola is going to find him. So you go into the kitchen and Colton and I will hide him. So here you are just to take turns with your child hiding the bear around your house or whatever animal you choose to use. Take turns hiding and take turns finding. This is definitely a fun one. We play hide and go seek quite often here. We do play it with some of the toys that we have, as we have a couple of characters that are actually meant for hide and go seek, where you turn them on and they yell out little hints here and there, and it's really, really fun because you can hide them in really hard places for that. But we haven't played in a while, so we're forgetting all of the spots where we usually hide things. That's it for today.
Look, I know around you.
She's a wild animal.
Hey, you gummy bear, it's Thursday.
Today you are to start out as always with your morning calendar or circle time routine, and then get right into the song and poem for the week. Then you're going to get into today's read aloud, which is a repeat of yesterday's Where's My Teddy? And the things to talk about today are a recap and review of the letter B, the sound it makes, and some familiar words that we know beginning with that letter. Our learning activity for today is a gummy bear racing game, and our easy activity is tracing our teddy bears. So let's get to this. Will you stop tickling my ear, please? So this morning we started out with 3 little animals on the table, our little stuffed animals, because that's what we were going to trace. Can you please stop tickling my ear with my hair? I would really appreciate that, little gummy bear. Tracing is a skill that I don't expect to be mastered anytime in the near future, so of course she needed 100% of my assistance with this, and then it is her job to color in with crayon, marker, paint, pencil crayon, jewels, however your child wants to decorate these, let them just have at her there. So we got to the tracing. We haven't really gotten to the decorating or coloring yet, but we'll see. Maybe that'll happen sometime today. What's a gummy bear?
Candy.
And what does it feel like?
Squishy.
What does it smell like?
Chocolate.
Chocolate! So I was a little hesitant at introducing this game, and I contemplated doing it with just goldfish, but I thought, you know what? It's gonna happen sooner or later. Now she knows what gummy bears are. So, after exploring a little bit with the gummy bears, we got right into our game. You wanna set up this board game just on a plain piece of paper, and however it suits you. Whatever number you think your child can count to, go for it. I made a nice U-shaped track for this game, and I thought I would start with the small letter B and end with the large B, telling her that we had to go through all of these squares to get from the small B to the large B. We have never ever played a board game before at all. Nola's never even seen a dice, and I actually realized today that I don't have any dice. So I had to think quickly and get to our lacing beads. They have cubes with individual numbers that are a great representation of which you would see on a dice. So we just took 1 through 6, put them in a bowl, shook them, and blindly pulled one out, and it worked just as well. So this was a really great game. It was using our counting skills that we are always constantly working on. Oh, thank you. Oh, another bowl, thank you. So it was a really great game. We played it twice through. We snacked on a little bit of gummy bears while we were playing this game, and Colton was very upset that he was not allowed to have any of these gummy bears. But, you know, you gotta grow some more teeth, kiddo. For a review on the letter B, I recalled that we had a koala crate not so long ago that was about the alphabet, and this is a really, really awesome kit. It gives you a series of a straight line and some U-shapes, and you can make every letter of the alphabet using these 2 shapes. You can make both the large version and the small version, so I brought these out. So we played around with these shapes, trying to refigure out how to make the letters without looking at a picture of the letters, and it was short but sweet. So that was it for today. It's Friday and it's a beautiful sunny day to end off this week. This morning you're going to start with your morning calendar or circle time routine as always, along with the song and poem for this unit. Then you're going to get into today's read aloud, which is going on a bear hunt. The things to talk about today are simply a recap and recall of this story. Our learning activity is making bears with shapes, and our easy activity is to make a set of binoculars and go on a bear hunt. So let's do this. This morning I started out with the learning activity, which is to create a bear out of shapes. For this activity, you are to get some brown construction paper. 2 shades of it would be ideal, but if you only have one, that's fine. And you know what? If you don't have brown, make your bear pink, whatever. So you want to cut out some shapes that your child will be able to glue together into the shape of a bear. I chose to cut out 2 bears for this activity, anticipating that I would be assembling one along with Nola, or that I would loosely have one put together but not glued together to give her something to look at. So what I had set up on the table this morning was one bear that was placed together but not glued, and the other one was just in pieces. And then, as she was waking up and I could hear her getting ready to come downstairs, I just had this thought of, why am I assuming that she is not going to know how to put this bear together? Let's give her the opportunity to do it first herself. So before she came downstairs, I quickly scrambled the pieces and put them in a little pile so that it wasn't obvious as to what we were doing. I also had on the table the items to make the binoculars. So as we were sitting at the table and these items are in front of her, she said to me something along the lines of, "So we're gonna make binoculars and then we're gonna make bears." My jaw literally hit the floor. How does this child know that we're gonna construct bears? I have no idea, but maybe a little bit of an idea. We have recently been working with this sticker book. This is something she got for Christmas and it is phenomenal. This one is titled At the Zoo, and let me just find one here. So here is an example of one not done. It gives you the shadow of a meerkat, and it also gives you a picture of what it looks like. And then in the back of the book, see if I can find the meerkat, it has all of the pieces that go together to make the puzzle. And these pages are perforated so you can rip it out. You can nicely tear it out and then go back to the page where your child is constructing the animal so that they're not flipping back and forth. Awesome, awesome book. I ordered another one off Amazon. It was about $12 and they are such a good book because it's so much more engaging than just placing stickers on a piece of paper or even doing the circle dots on patterns or lines or shapes or letters. It gets a little mundane for her. So this may have tipped her off because there is a bear on here and we did the bear a couple of days ago. Anyways, so she knew exactly what we were doing, and like I said, we hadn't even watched the book yet. Now, we have previously made binoculars out of toilet paper tubes, so that may have been something that tipped her off, and maybe because we've been talking about teddy bears all week and all of the construction paper was brown. This kid's just a genius. Well, I think so anyways. So we got into our easy activity and she put that bear together just about no problem. The 2 tones kind of threw her off because that's something that we haven't really done before, and any bear that she has is not 2-toned like that, so I had to help her with that. I had to assist her on how to use a glue stick. It's something we've only used once or twice before, but she got the hang of it. The first bear I helped her with a little bit, and then the second bear she did almost 100% on her own with very little help from me, aside from obviously drawing on the eyes and the nose and stuff like that. So we let those settle. We just taped together our binoculars because by the time we had gotten dressed and come back downstairs, she just wanted to go on this bear hunt and we didn't want to wait for glue to dry. So we got out some tape, tied on the yarn, and went to it. We had loads of fun doing this. We took turns hiding the bear and hunting for the bear. And we played this for probably close to an hour before we tired of it and decided to take a little snack break. I guess I should mention that before we even assembled these bears or the binoculars, we did watch our story of going on a bear hunt. We watched it only 2 times through, and Nola really enjoyed the story, and she could really recall a lot of this story right from the first time of reading it with not too much help from me. She was really remembering all of the things that the characters were going through to get to the bear cave and didn't need tons of help from me, which was great. And I was surprised that she only wanted to watch it twice. She was really taken by this story, but I think she was just really eager to get to making this bear because, you know, she knew that's what we were doing. Next week will be week 2 of Unit 7, so the fun will continue with teddy bears. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're considering starting some preschooling at home with your toddler, then please consider subscribing. Thanks.